If you spent any time in East Vancouver, then you've definitely seen them. Those boxy, flat roof, two-story houses with the long balconies and usually brick and stucco combo. That's the famous Vancouver Special. But what most people don't know is the wild history behind them. Who designed them? What loopholes builders used to stretch them bigger? Why the city tried to stop them? And why renovators today are giving these homes a second life. A Vancouver Special was a mass produced two-story house built mostly between the 1960s and mid 80s. They were built by the thousands. Sometimes entire blocks were identical. Large rectangle, low pitched roofs, balconies running across the front, upper floor for the family, lower floor for rentals or extended family. Simple, affordable, and extremely efficient for the size of the lot. So let's go back to who designed them. There wasn't just one architect. Vancouver Specials were more of a movement. You also had dozens of local builders, many of them immigrant run companies who took the basic plan and mass produced it. They weren't designing for beauty, they were designing for efficiency, affordability, and speed. So, why did they suddenly explode in popularity? By the late 60s and early 70s, Vancouver was growing fast. Immigration surged, families were getting bigger, and the demand for housing skyrocketed. The city needed something that could be built quick and cheap on a standard 33-foot or 40-foot lot. The van special was the perfect solution. It was one floor plan, one roof line, same materials. Builders could put these up in weeks, not months. And for families, the layout was perfect. Live upstairs, rent out the ground floor, and offset the mortgage, or, probably another family, right? That alone made them incredibly appealing. But here's where it gets interesting, the loopholes with them. The real reason why the Vancouver Special took over the city was because of the way they maximized space by bending and sometimes perfectly exploiting the city bylaws. So here's an example for you. The rules at the time measured setbacks and height differently than they do today. So builders realized they could push the house forward on the lot, stretch it wider, and build a full height lower level as long as it was technically a basement. This is why the ground floor of the van specials isn't a dark basement. It's basically a full second suite with normal ceiling height. Here's another loophole. Because the front balcony counted as open space, the main facade could be pushed out further without violating floor area limits. And here's the big one. The box shape was the most square footage you could legally fit on the lot at the time. So builders leaned into that box and they did it hard. The result, a home that felt much bigger than anything else in the neighborhood, allowed under the same zoning rules. So then actually the city actually tried to stop them. By the late 70s, Vancouver Specials were everywhere. Whole neighborhoods were filling with identical boxes. Some people complained that the city was losing their architectural character that was built early on in the other prior decades. The city responded by tightening the bylaws, especially around the facade design, the roof lines, and height. These changes were known as the anti-Vancouver Special zoning updates. And just like that, production slowed down dramatically. So why are they becoming popular again? Well, here's the twist. The same things that made Vancouver Specials ugly or boring in the 70s are exactly why renovators love them today. It's the simple box shape. I mean, walls are easy to move, layouts are easy to open up. Roof lines are simple and cheap to update. The lower level is already functional and the structure is predictable. There's no weird engineering surprises. So, in other words, they're renovation gold. Plus, they sit on a good sized lot in great neighborhoods at lower prices if they're new and haven't been touched. So, the modern makeover, a blank, perfect canvas for a lot of people. So renovators are taking these once dated homes and giving them full modern transformation. New facades with wood and steel, upgraded windows, modern railings, open concept kitchens, and totally new floor plans upstairs and down. The special became clean, modern, West Coast style homes, but for a fraction of the cost of a new build. So, bottom line, when we're talking Vancouver Specials and going through the eras here, they're more than just a quirky part of the city's history. They were a solution to the housing crisis. They maximize space through clever design and a few bylaw loopholes. They provided affordable multi-generational living when the city needed it most. And today they're getting a second life. For the last, you've seen it for the last 10 years, really, not as cheap homes, but as some of Vancouver's most versatile renovation projects with huge value potential. So right now, what I want to do, I want to show you guys a few examples. We've been talking for a bit, but so here's an example right now of a van special. You've seen them, you've like rows of these things in neighborhoods everywhere. This is an example of one that hasn't been touched. This is a probably back in the 70s build. You have the brick, you have the stucco, and really just you've seen these everywhere. They're real cookie cutters. And then you fast forward to something maybe that was renovated in the last 10 years. Again, you have wood and steel. Here's the glass balcony. And just modernize. Even you can kind of take a peek in the interior here with the stairs going up to the second level. Right now, again, guys, they act as two identical suites, and some people can configure them where if they want a closed off suite altogether, that can be done as well. But in this situation, who knows? There could be a door, and this could be their entrance, and then you could have another entrance around either the side of the house or the back of the house. So again, but a lot of space. And the beautiful thing about it is you have full ceiling heights with these van specials. And then let's take a look at the interior. Here's an interior, like what a beautiful design here. Open kitchen layout. Here's your island. And that's the thing, you have ample space for something like this. If you want to renovate something, sometimes, I love character houses myself, something built in the 20s and stuff like that. But when you're doing a renovation and something like that, you're limited in what you can do, especially each one is a completely different layout. You might not have enough space in the kitchen. So if you're thinking island, some of those you can't even do it. And here's another shot, the same home, and you can see just wall to wall openness, right? They got the recessed lighting here, a couple pennant lightings that leads out to your back deck as well. So really, really tastefully done here, just top to bottom. So just, I mean, I love this. Here's something, looks a completely different, but again, a complete reno. They've stuck with the original fireplace here and just, gave it a nice facelift with the white. You can tell this is something probably in the, later 60s, early 70s, and then, refinishing the beam. But you see these ceiling heights and floor to ceiling windows, a lot of natural light coming in here. So again, just another idea, completely different renovation, but it gives you a sense of what can be done with these. And there's so many other ideas. There's so many other examples of these Vancouver specials. And it really gives you a sense of what can be done. Just to give you another example of the different eras in housing, if you want to help finding a van special, if it's something you're looking at, or you want me to analyze the renovation potential, one that you're looking at right now, reach out to me anytime. All my details in the description. And again, guys, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You made it this far. So, I got videos coming out weekly. We're going through a little era here with the homes here, especially in Vancouver. So stick around. We're going to jump into a lot of different things too. I'm going to touch on duplexes and modern homes as well. We're going to get into all the different eras. So make sure you stick around for that as well, because it's a fun little series that I'm rolling out. So again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share the videos as well to anybody that is interested. Maybe you know somebody that's in the market or they're looking at the van specials. So send it over to them as well. But guys, you made it this far, so I appreciate you sticking around, watching to the end, and I'll see you guys on the next video.